Failure is nothing but a lesson waiting to be capitalized on. So what? You missed the mark. You fumbled the ball. You set yourself up to shoot the shot and you missed. And now you're torturing yourself because, in your mind, you failed. Before you banish yourself to the wastelands of perpetual faildom, allow me to offer you a more reasonable way of looking at the situation. Now, my take on this stems from personal experience in overcoming crushing defeat and learning new perspectives in how to deal with failure. The artist knows he will never become perfect, but there is always that nagging reminder to reach for it. Failure is just one of many metrics by which we learn and grow. You discover a mistake, judge your work against a standard, make adjustments, and repeat the process. Over time, you become more proficient, but never perfect. Because if you were perfect, your work as an artist would be done. It's impossible to begin a work and not experience some form of failure. The artist knows this and is always observing and self correcting. So, why is failure so painful? This is what I believe. The pain comes from our practice of attaching to the failure rather than reflecting on the experience. Think back to when you were in school. You hand in an assignment and the teacher hands back your paper with a grade. If you got an A, good for you. If you got a B, great job, you could do better. C, you're average, work harder. D or F, well, we need an intervention. Something is wrong. We can all agree that the kids who got A's hung out with the A kids because why would you let a C or D pull down your average? The B kids are trying to move up to the A group, but if they associate with the C's, they will spiral down. The C's are just coasting by and they're doing just enough, not more or less. And the kids who got D's and F's have taken their lack of interest as a badge of honor, and they just don't want to fit into the system. I knew kids who got A's and B's not because they were any smarter than the next person, but because they didn't want their parents pulling them out of whatever sport or activity they enjoyed. I also knew kids who were failing. They reveled in their image as rebels. They were the cool kids, the ones who smoked in the parking lot before and after school. And as for the C group, they had the persona that if I do more, you will push me. But if I do just enough, I fly under the radar. Looking at all these groups holistically, A students, B students, C students, and so on, they were not so much motivated by the learning experience, but the consequences of not measuring up. The consequence of losing their identity and not fitting into a group. What often happens within the creative process, whether intentional or not, we end up trying to fit into a group. If our work does not fit the right characteristic of some standard, somehow we believe we have failed. We anticipate consequences because of the mistakes in our work, forgetting that any failure we encounter is simply a lesson. We meditate so much on the results that we miss the experience. You can get so caught up in the aesthetics and what the work looks like that you totally forget about the joy of creating it. If all you worry about is the flaws you hope others will not see, then your motivation wasn't about the process of creating, but the hope of you fitting in. Congratulations, you're back in high school. Just to be clear, I am not being cavalier about failure. The goal is not to fail or neglect technique or skill. The goal is to learn from failure so that you can grow from it, not to be put down or belittled. It is totally possible to experience failure from a positive and healthy perspective. The idea is not to go out there and just fail, fail, fail and not care, but to not be afraid of failure, that it doesn't paralyze you or limit you from a great experience. If you can begin to view failure as a teacher, as a friend, rather than a tyrant standing over you with a whip, you will have a more joyous experience in your work. You will have a more positive experience. In creating your work, you will learn through love and not through fear. I hope that helps somebody. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. And I hope you all have a blessed and mighty day.